Nursery rhymes, fairy tales, of blood and wine. Turtles on the way down the line. But we still roam till we go home. Further rounds our souls must roam to and through.
Turtles All the Way Down podcast on Southtown Media.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Turtles All the Way Down. So glad we got Turk back with us.
What's up? It's been a while, man. I got damn dust off this damn computer. I didn't even know who I was.
Had to remind. And we got old Uncle. Yeah, we got old Uncle Tim. He's back. He loves America.
Oh yeah, murder.
He wants you to know.
Murder.
And then Carlos couldn't be with us because apparently he partied too hard yesterday. He was hurting. That's verbatim what he told me, but I don't think he cares if I told you guys that. So I was like, all right, I'll let you sleep in for this one. But there's that, and then obviously we got Tusk back, man. So welcome back, Tusk.
Hello.
We got a pretty fun topic today, and on top of that, we'll probably jump all over the place like we almost always do.
We can jump all over the place, and nobody's going to agree to whatever fucking want to talk about, and I'm cool with that.
Well, what are we talking about today, Turk?
I'm talking about how society just fucking wrote off dragons and decided to call them dinosaurs.
But there is a difference between dinosaurs and dragons because dragons can breathe fire.
No, you know what I'm saying? By technical standards, yeah, they say that they can breathe fire, but there's too many discrepancies between dinosaurs and dragons. Like
such as
they claim them to be mythical creatures, dragons, but then in the late 1800s they just fucking rewrote them as dinosaurs in the dictionary and just wrote off dragons as mythical creatures. Like dragons has been in a biblical sense and all before the late 1800s, and then archaeologists start calling them fucking dinosaurs.
they have dragons in the Bible. I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's biblical. It's biblical speakings of dragons in the Bible.
Revelations.
Yeah, in Revelations.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the late 1800s, and I'm paraphrasing, like 1880 something, they started the definition of dinosaurs, and then listen to me now.
I'm listening.
Most of the archaeological finds of dinosaurs or anything that you see in museums, like all these full sculpted figures of dinosaurs, they're not completely 100% dinosaur bones. They're sculpted and replicas, and they're like claymations and shit like that. They're not. And a lot of the what they think the dinosaurs look like before, okay, they're what they anticipated them to look. And a lot of the similarities, like with a lot of the ones that they call with the short arms and all, they have similarities to dragons because the short arm with the claws, okay, with dragons, they were short armed, but then they had wings that came out from them. But they just illustrate them as like giant lizards. They had short arms, but with bird-like creatures as dragons, the density of the bones, they decay faster.
Well, I mean, Tusk, you got anything to say on this?
Birds aren't real. If the dinosaurs turned into birds, and yeah, they're not real. I don't know, because I mean, like, there's the nerd subculture has branched out on like different types of dragons. So there's like wyverns and drakes. So some of them are quadrupedal, some of them are bipedal, some of them, the wings are. I don't know. That's all technical stuff over there. The real research and the formulation of the whole theory with the dinosaurs. You know, it was like a gold rush with a lot of these guys. So again, it was like the late 1800s, and this is when like we were really doing a lot of uncovering in Egypt. There was a lot of fascination in the East. There was a lot of stuff being dug up. Like we found the Nag Hammadi library. That's a bunch of Gnostic texts that they found in Egypt. So there was a real concerted effort for, especially like the British Empire, for them to empirically catalog and organize all these different parts of our past. And it almost seemed like there was conflicting factions that were trying to iron out like what that narrative would have been, because there was a lot of spiritualist movements and shit at that time. That's where theosophy comes from. And I can't, like, years ago, like over a decade, when I was like super in the conspiracy hole, really cynical about everything, like, you know, can we trust anything? I did do a little bit of a dive on the dinosaur stuff. I can't remember exactly what it said, but I do know that there was almost like a race between a lot of these typically wealthy scientists. So a lot of them were digging up bones and just kind of throwing them together without really studying what it would. So iguanodon, that's probably I think it's the most famous because that was the first full skeleton that they found of a dinosaur. And that one's famous because it's essentially, it's got its thumb is just a straight spike. It's like a claw. And the original mock-up, for when they tried to put it on display, they had placed that thumb claw on the nose of the animal. So they didn't really know what the fuck they were doing. It was just kind of like trying to get it all thrown together because they were in competition with each other. But I was the dinosaur kid. I like dinosaurs. I also like dragons. And like how I believe we did go to the moon, I also understand why they would fake it if we didn't, because of the importance of it. And I think that's similar to dinosaurs. Like, we're probably not being told the whole story.
I agree. That's how I am on the fence. I feel like simultaneously we're being told that dinosaurs and dragons are different, but I feel like they're the same thing, but they're just being they're just trying to documentation differently for games.
But there's all sorts of types of different dinosaurs, and some of them don't.
No,
really
there's all.
Yeah,
I agree.
Some of them don't really look like dragons at all, though.
No, I'm saying, but at the same time, you say they don't look like dragons. But what do we fucking know what dragons look like? What do they know that what dragons look like?
The pictures?
No, yeah, it's the pictures that they make up.
Yeah, who saw a dragon to draw?
Yeah, exactly. Who saw them to make them up to be dragons, and who distinguished this is a dinosaur, not a dragon, because they don't breathe fire. When maybe not all dragons breathe fire. What if dinosaurs actually breathe fire?
You guys ever see the Dragonheart movies?
The what?
The
Dragonheart movies, like Sean Connery.
Oh, Sean Connery,
yeah, in the first one. They made a like straight to VHS sequel to that shit, and it had another dragon in it, and they explained it that like dragons have a fire lung, but some of them have an ice lung too. So you just got to learn.
We had an ice age. We had one that just went around just, hey, y'all seen How to Train a Dragon? Hey.
All right, that was a good movie.
I saw the original, the first one.
The first one?
Yeah, the CG one.
No, he said stupid. He said the G one. But look, I just laughed because you said it was the G one.
Is that what you said, Tuck?
He did.
Wait. No, wait, what? What did I say?
You said it was the Jew one.
No, I didn't. That is not what I said.
Oh, what did you say?
I said I saw the original one, and that was it.
I thought you said.
No, the CG
Turkey's hearing
one.
things.
The
The CG
CG
one.
one.
Man, I've been hearing a lot of things lately. I guess I'm hearing the wrong shit. I swore
Turkey
he said
loved
it.
it.
What do you
I
got
heard-
against the Jews,
I
bro?
swore he said it was the Jew one. That's,
Yeah, that's not what I said.
man, my brain's going wasted. Lord damn. I'm so sorry. I'm so
I just
sorry.
love that also implies that there was a Jewish one and then there was a non-Jewish one.
Yeah, it was the Jew one.
What happened? What's
That would be
going on?
hilarious.
I
would
blew
think
myself.
Mitzvah at the end of it.
I just blew myself. But I don't know. I just think that and like I said, it's all conspiracy, man. I just think that there's a lot of discrepancies with the whole dragon dinosaur thing. It was just written off. I feel like it is. I think there might have been similar and relevant at the same time. I don't think, like they say that dinosaurs existed millions and millions and millions of years ago. Like, but at the same time, I just feel like it's questionable to think that, and they even admitted that in a lot of these dinosaurs that are in exhibits and all that they're not 100% bones. They're replicas.
Yeah, they're
You know what I'm saying?
plastered.
Yeah,
They're
they're plastered.
plaster
They don't exactly know what they look like. Like they
They
got
had to
them
build
they got them all represented without noses. Like
They
how
had to
do
make
they
a
know exactly
scientific,
what they look?
educated guess on what would make sense, I guess. And you're right, because there's actually, as much as I was joking, teasing you about the whole breathing fire thing. I mean, they obviously there's other than the bones themselves, there are no organic material. So I mean, that they really have of these creatures. So who knows? I mean, I guess it's crazy because when you think about it back in the day with mythical creatures, especially when it comes to dragons, I feel like breathing fire is such a oddly specific thing.
Exactly.
Well,
And
there's
all the dragons in different cultures, all of them, not all of them do, but a lot of them do. And there's something tying that together with like between vastly different cultures and continents and times.
Like the Vikings and the Chinese.
Yeah,
They all believe in dragons.
Even if take the fire out of the effect, the actual flame of the fire. Just imagine like you have lizards, okay, that spit venom that burns your skin. What if it can be mistranslated as they spit something on you that burns your skin like fire? You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
That could be it too. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like an acid-like substance that comes out the breath of a lizard-type creature.
Well, one of the main things with dragons is definitely that it's tied. The symbolism of the dragon is tied in with alchemy and alchemical stuff.
I was gonna say Merlin. Yeah.
Yeah. So like salamanders in folklore are associated with fire, even though they're amphibians and like the ones we see. Like there's all kinds of drawings of salamanders sitting in like a fireplace or amongst flames.
Charmander.
Charmander. So you get Charmander. But it's, I've also heard, you got to trace this back because like even before dragons, there was so much serpent lore, like there's the obvious biblical stuff, but the Sumerians, they believed that like the great mother goddess was called Tiamat, and she was the serpent mother, dragon mother. That's how they explained her. The Ouroboros, the symbol of the snake eating its own tail. So they're all kind of like, it's jumping in paradigms from like serpent to dragons to dinosaurs. It's kind of like it's being modified over time. But also like a lot of, I've heard a lot of stuff talking about dragon lore really coming from stuff going on celestially. So they could associate it with a comet. There's this whole section, that possibly. There's a whole section of people that believe in what they call the electric universe, and that essentially our entire existence is all being held together. It's all plasma. We're all being held together with electromagnetism.
Yeah, that's the
And
anti-gravity movement right now, isn't it?
the who?
The anti-gravity movement. People saying gravity
Yeah,
is a
they
theory. Or, yeah,
overlap with them. Yeah, with over
yeah.
Unity engine stuff. But like, so, for example, like this one guy I was listening to the other day, he thinks that the Grand Canyon wasn't caused
Oh
by
yeah, yeah.
erosion, but was actually some kind of
Lightning strike.
intense cosmic lightning strike. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I seen that.
That would make
So
that's yeah.
go
That's
ahead, Turk.
another die. No,
It's it was a lightning dragon.
no. But at the
No,
same
it was
time,
a. Go
it's
ahead,
kind
Trey.
of like with the like you talking about with the Grand Canyon. There's a lot of places that they say you can explore and that you're not allowed to visit, and they
Oh
have a
yeah,
lot of resemblance with ancient Egypt with the pyramids and shit like that.
yeah.
Yep.
You're
There's
not allowed to
supposedly
go.
some hieroglyphs down there in some
Yeah.
caves.
Yeah, oh yeah. Between that and I mean, also dinosaurs. Hell, there are spots here in Colorado that's close to me and Tusk, like not even an hour drive away, where you can go see where they dug up dinosaur bones and stuff like that. Like that.
Oh, and speaking of close to y'all, I saw something recently. I know it's a sidebar, but it has to do with dinosaurs. There's a place. It was called something zoo. I can't think of it. It was called it was a zoo. It was built after World War II. The Japanese were trying they were trying they were sending over balloons with bombs on them,
Yep.
and they used them to blow up in y'all's area. And after that happened, one of the owners of a farm, he ended up using a lot of scrap metal and all, and building a zoo around there with a
Huh.
bunch of metal dinosaurs and stuff. I can't think of the name of it. I saw it today, and I can't. I feel bad that I don't remember it.
That's
Um,
interesting.
Yeah, I'd
but
like to look into that.
it's underneath a bypass. He used a bunch of. It used to be open up to the public. It was from the '90s, the late '90s to around like 2010 or something like that. I can't think of the name of it. They called it a zoo. It was open to the public, and he had a bunch of metal sculptures. So there was dinosaurs and stuff, and people would come and hang out. Oh man, I wish I could remember that. I feel bad that I'm just bringing it up. I can't tell y'all, but they're starting to They're starting to renovate it. They're going to build up housing around there, but they don't want to get rid of it.
Of course.
And
Dude,
but
they're building housing
it's
every fucking where here in
it's not too far from Denver. Um, I'm gonna look it up while we're talking about it.
Yeah, I wanna know what that is.
He also, I'm pretty sure it's not the same person, but there's that dude that is pretty famous around here, Tusk. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, where he has like basically like a whole bunker and all these like super military grade weapons and shit, and
What?
tanks and shit. And like people can go, you can go to, I think they call him the Lizard Man or something like that.
The
And you can go
Lizard
to
Man.
his something like that, yeah. And you can go to his estate or wherever he's at and fire the guns and do all this kind of stuff.
The
Wow.
Switsville Zoo. I think that's what it's called. Hold on. The Switsville Zoo.
I know we got some kind of reptile farm further
it's
south
called
in the state.
It's in Fort Collins, Colorado. Switsville Zoo.
Fort Collins is about an hour from us.
Okay, yeah. It's the this was Bill Swetsville started and created metal creatures in 1985.
That's if it's in Fort Collins, that means it's right by CSU.
It's right next.
State.
It's literally right underneath a bypass. They're supposedly starting to they're going to do like
We're gonna show it
cultivation.
with a brown. We're gonna show it with a brown bag special and go check it out.
But you probably could, but they're supposed to be
That sounds
building
good.
like condos and stuff around it. But it's called the Swetsville Zoo, and it's no longer open, but the remnants of it is still there. Where he's got a lot of artifacts and stuff. It's something I saw on like Discovery Channel or History Channel today that they were talking about it, and they gave it an origin story of how it came up to be. And he has a lot of interesting things that he built out of metal and stuff like that. And there's a lot of dinosaurs and stuff. It's like a park. He calls it a zoo, but it's just a park of stuff that he made with a bunch of metal from vehicles and tractors and stuff. There's a bunch of dinosaurs and shit, a bunch of crazy shit that he built. But it's underneath of like a bypass off the edge.
Bro, Colorado, if you ever come out, it's a lot of weird shit here, man. Even when you first fly in, there's a gigantic, big ass blue horse right by the statue of the fucking blue horse right outside
Lucifer.
the airport. Is that what they call it?
Yeah,
I heard of it.
The guy that created the sculpture, it fell on him and killed him. Right as he was finishing, pretty much. So
I heard about that. That's just crazy.
Yeah,
you don't really. It's a big fucking statue, bro. Like not
and
like
it's
statue,
creepy.
Yeah, it's like fiery red eyes and shit. It's like something that would like to scare you to get the fuck out of Denver.
It's very strange.
I know it's a sidebar. I'm gonna share my screen real quick.
Go ahead.
See if I can bring it up. Hold on, share screen. All right, share. Oh, what's going on? Nope.
Not that.
No, not
I don't want to see it.
There we go. Y'all see this? It's not booty. It's not booty pictures.
Do you have something else, sir?
No. Can y'all see what I'm sharing right now?
No. It just showed me the email that I sent you.
No, it's not showing you what I'm showing right now.
Nah.
Okay, I'm
sorry. Buddy.
Sorry.
Try it again.
I'll try it again. Share. Oh, yeah, I did the wrong thing. I apologize. Here we go. Can y'all see now?
Oh, yeah, we see it.
Okay. This is some of the things that he made out of metal.
This just looks like a regular trailer park to me.
Yeah, no, but it's like it was just so funny that I would.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of you remember the movie Ernest Scared Stupid?
Yeah.
When you go into the front yard of that old lady.
Click on one of them.
Yeah.
Let's see, maybe this one right here with the dragon. Let's see. I'm clicking on it. It's loading up. They want to show the folklore.
It's just with the whole dinosaur stuff, and again, like I was the dinosaur kid. I fucking loved Jurassic Park and all that stuff. Like I wanted to be a paleontologist for a little while.
Hell yeah, Jurassic Park.
It's a very convenient chunk. Like that's a huge chunk of history that they're essentially trying to explain away. Like playing devil's advocate. Like if they're trying to explain away a lot of the ancient past.
I'm about to stop it.
Is it a video?
Yeah, it was a video. They started talking. So it came from Haines, Alaska.
Because again, at that time in the 1800s, when all this was really being formulated, there was all these other movements, and it has to do with the Western world and the universities and the scientists going into the East and performing these archaeological digs and really starting to classify all this stuff. And the Theosophical movement, they were bringing they were the ones that brought yoga to the East. They were the ones that went to India, learned from the yogis, and all these other texts, and they brought them back. And that whole movement, they had some ancient history theories. I mean, wild stuff, talking about different root races and like how humans look now. We're not going to look like that when another root race shows up. Like the Earth goes through these kind of evolutionary periods. So it almost seemed. So if the Theosophists were up to that, there was no doubt a bunch of other different groups that were formulating their own kind of origin story for all of human existence. and it almost seems like the dinosaur narrative, if it is a narrative, is a very good just kind of, oh, before us it was the age of dinosaurs and that's it, and it lasted so long, like nothing
Exactly.
interesting happened. It was just,
My,
regular
my,
wildlife predation and all
Yeah,
that.
100 million years ago there was dinosaurs and they got blew off with a fucking rock from the
Well,
space.
hold on. We were simplifying a little too much because I know Tusk is doing more of a just a overture and a brief synopsis of it. But I mean, there's a lot of interesting things even within that they said happened. You have your Precambrian period, and you have like
Mesozoic,
Mesozoic, your actual Jurassic, um, and there's like
Triassic,
Triassic,
Cretaceous.
all those different eras. And which one I think is it the Precambrian where it's the Great Dying, where it was like one of the biggest mass extinctions ever, and no one to this day. This has nothing to do with. They don't think it has anything to do with an asteroid. It's just for some reason, almost everything died, like on a
Huh.
much larger more mass scale than the asteroid that they believe that took out the dinosaurs, an even
Well,
bigger one, but was
what was
millions of
this?
years
What was
prior to
this?
that.
Okay, it was prior
Is
to
that
that.
is that when everything was like aquatic still? Like nothing had really crawled out of
I,
the ocean?
I want to say some things that crawl, if I remember right, this part, some things that crawled out, but they weren't even into a form to what we would recognize as dinosaurs today. They're just very, they're probably maybe the size of a Great Dane, like animals that size, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. Where did they get this fucking information from? That's what
What do
gets
you mean?
me.
Well, a lot of them were making it up at the beginning. That's
Exactly.
what the
That's what I'm
problem was.
saying. Where the problem lies with me. It's like where's the information coming from? If they're not just getting it out of
Well,
fucking
I
thin
mean,
air.
no, they're not. And like when they're carbon dating stuff, they have, but at the same time, before I even say this, I want to preface this with the fact that I do believe it's very flawed, and that's what I have a problem with.
Uh-huh.
Is the way that scientists understand or know the things that they know is because like they'll find these different fossils, right? Like we'll go back like to the Triassic period, and they'll say these dinosaurs or these organisms, even non-dinosaur, existed between this time and this time because when we carbon date them, they only range between this so many million years, but we can't find any after that. But to me, my problem is like, okay, just because you personally can't find because there's so much of this earth and the under the ocean and all these other places that have shifted, oceans have moved over time, seas have moved over time. We have cities that could have prehistoric bones upon them, probably do. Because just like all animals, most of them are going to dwell by water. And guess what? Most of our cities, especially back in the day before we started doing things like where we had cities like Colorado, where you're bringing in water from here to there, and we have these advanced like water systems and stuff. Animals also lived across where the water. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
New York could have all this shit of prehistoric stuff we'll probably never find.
I
And just
think
because
there's, I think
but
this location's up here in Colorado, but because we visited it when I was like in the second grade or something, I wasn't living here. But they found a riverbed that is just, it's got like 15 to 20 different dinosaur species uh, embedded in this chunk of rock that they carved out the bottom of this river, and they have it all in one piece, and it's like 3 stories high, and you can go and see it, and it's supposed to be one of the best examples of like them being caught in the sediment, and that it's like what you're saying, Kelsey, that they treated it like a watering hole, so you're going to have a bunch of different species there at the same time.
yeah.
And then like with the carbon dating, that's one thing like
That's just not accurate either. You
it's
just
not
carbonated rock.
I'm
because carbon could this is the only thing with carbon dating that gets me because I see the science behind carbon dating, but they also tell you when they carbon date some stuff like even in the deserts of Egypt, like where they find the fields of glass and all, like when they carbon date them, like they can be altered by radiation by like tens of thousands of years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
potentially.
so if radiation caused that and they're carbon dating, how accurate is it?
Well,
Because
carbon dating is relative. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, for our larger purposes, the farther we go back in time when it comes to dinosaurs and things of that nature and things that preceded it, um, you know, 10,000 years isn't as big a deal from now to then. Like if you're going back 40 million years and it's like give or take 10,000 years, that don't
Yeah.
seem like that much. But, when it comes to carbon dating, to like what they do with like the Vikings skeletons that they keep finding, like in Sweden and
Yeah,
Iceland
that's
and all these
crazy.
places. The closest usually they can get is anywhere between like 40 and 60 years, which is kind of close, you know what I mean, to like when this person
Yeah.
was alive, but it's not, you're right, it's not exact. And there are different things that can alter that, depending on
Yeah.
when your area where you have natural radiation and things of that nature. So it can vary and skew the line some, but I mean, by and large, especially when we're going back to these whole eras where like all the ones that, I mean, I named off like one or two, but Tesla named off the other ones, most of them.
Yeah.
These periods of time were like some were bigger than others, and they're not all equally spanned out. But all these different times, like your Jurassic, all that, they were millions and millions and millions of years, sometimes hundreds of
Well,
millions of years of a period. So when you say I can get it within, like 5,000 years, that's not bad. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. I just, it's just a
But like back
skeptic in
to
me. Is
like
like
the
where
whole
they put
Egypt
them.
thing you were talking about, but that's also another tricky part is aside from the radiation that can affect things, there's also the fact that there are certain things that you cannot test for carbon dating. You know, you can
Yeah.
test a lot of things, but not necessarily everything. Some things are just conducive with. Sorry, guys, I lost the train of thought there for a second, but they just not conducive, but are, like I said, there's just no viable way to test them. Like that's the whole mystery thing, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen the Joe Rogan thing where they're talking about how old the Sphinx possibly is. There's
yeah,
no
it
real
could be
way to
older.
test how
Yeah.
old it is. Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's evidence
No.
of building upon building on it.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Well, I think there's also like concerning the Sphinx and stuff. There's a lot of speculation about maybe like they think that the Sphinx originally the whole sculpture was a lion because
mhm.
and they line it up by referencing. They think that maybe not think, but quite certain that they carved a lion because at that time Leo was the major constellation on the horizon in that
Mhm.
period, and where the Sphinx is seated directionally. If you were to, turn the dial back on time, that would have been where about the Leo constellation would have been placed. So they lined it up with that. And then because there's water erosion on it too. So they think that at one
Yeah.
point the Nile flooded or there was another body of water and all of that was submerged. And then later on they carved the face onto the lion body.
Or I
It's
mean, it goes
interesting.
back to
Young and
when and
dries.
how yeah, because I do. I don't agree with everything old buddy says from that show, but I do I like his line of thought, and it's just something that stuck with me. And me and Turk talked about this on one of the first episodes ever of all, first maybe second episodes of this show altogether, from Turk all the way down. But I just have a hard time in general believing that as far as civilization goes back, it's only 10,000 years.
Yes. No.
I just think it goes
Exactly.
back way farther than that.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I mean, even,
that's go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Well,
Well, I
that's
mean,
what I'm saying. You go.
you have
go.
it. You have it. No, you have it. You
Well,
have it, Tusk.
there is a concerted effort, I think, because again, like that information about the Sphinx being carved whenever Leo was, kind of the ruling constellation. That's information that the general public doesn't know. That the people studying it and researching it do know, and they understand the significance of it. And it's kind of like they don't want the public thinking along those lines, which is also why I find it pretty interesting that Spielberg was the guy that ended up bringing these concepts to life in a major way for the public, because he's also very much involved with how the public views aliens and alien interaction. Like he's like the state propagandist director. And those books were smart. Like I've been listening to some reviews of the new Jurassic Park movie, and they've just the Jurassic World movies were garbage. Like the books were very smart. The first two movies were very smart, and they were written by Michael Crichton, and he was a damn good writer, and he was a scientist.
13th Warrior, baby.
Hell yeah. Eaters for the Dead, or Eaters of the Dead, that was the name of the book. So he did his research, and Spielberg, like, they stuck pretty close to making, the paleontologists, the paleobotanists, all these science characters really explain. I mean, they had a lot of ethics in there too. Like, how ethical is this, what we're doing? Like, should we be doing this? And that's just completely out the window with the new stuff. So,
oh yeah, dude, they lost me on Jurassic World when they're like, we just use science to hybrid a dinosaur, and I'm like, bro, there are so many dinosaurs to choose from. That's lazy as fuck, right?
It really is. It really is. I can't believe they're still doing that, because like they were making action figures of that shit before they made the movies back in the 90s, and it's just it seems like toy marketing. Like that's the only reason why they did it.
Yeah, literally, that's the only thing I can think of. As soon as I saw that in the movie, I clicked. I turned it off right there. I was like, yeah, I'm good.
That's another thing, like with the Jurassic thing. I don't know. It just makes me question a lot of the stuff with, like, they keep making it up. Like they making dinosaurs based off of lizard DNA and creating these things. Just like, are they really based off of lizard DNA? I don't know.
Well, I thought it was. Even though they're not real, I thought they were supposed to be based off birds and not so much lizards.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay. I'm just saying, like, but they use the lizard DNA in all the damn Jurassic parks.
Like, the way they harvested it was really cool. How they explained that with the mosquitoes stuck in amber.
Yeah. That is pretty.
And in those first two movies, to be fair, even with the later movies, when the first two movies came out, the whole bird thing wasn't as widely known mainstream. And then even with the Jurassic, can't believe I'm defending it, but Jurassic World, they have to have continuity. You know what I mean? They can't say, "Oh yeah, that was all." Yeah. We don't know what we were doing with those lizards. We meant birds.
Apparently, the raptors in the new movie straight up fly.
Hey, but on another note, all right. So this is a TV show. It's on Discovery or History Channel. I think it's Discovery. So in the first Jurassic Park, they note that they're searching for dinosaurs in the Midwest in America.
They're in Montana.
Okay.
In Montana.
They're in the
back. And you can actually right now, you can go and schedule, like, you can set it up and pay for it and go dig for dinosaur bones in Montana and wash paint. You can do it.
You can get drunk and do it in your backyard right now.
No, you could. I could. But at the same time, but you can go out in Montana. Like, people go find these dinosaur bones and shit in the fuck. It's crazy. Like, even up in Alaska right now, that they got the Boneyard of Alaska. They're uncovering a ass of fucking prehistoric bones in the Boneyard.
Oh, let's not get into that one again.
We're not going to get into that one. But I'm just saying.
I forgot about that.
I'm not even getting into that one. But I'm just saying, it's a lot of shit's going on here in the American
He only
land.
sells the shit he knows that ain't important.
We could take that brown bag special up to Fort Collins and dig up that hippie's backyard, whatever sculptures.
I just love the
Let
fact
get
it's
buried.
just like 9 o'clock at night, and you hear that. You hear the wife hears that shovel, and she's like, "What are you doing, baby?" I'm digging for dinos.
I'm digging for dinos. We talked about doing it, man. I want to do it, man. I would love to go fucking sit on a damn wash bank of a river in Montana and fucking.
And that's
damn.
another thing. I mean, I know obviously between Pangea and all the continental drifts, that's actually something I guess I would like to talk about. It's always kind of confused me to a degree. But without going too much into that, but like I know there are places that were underwater that used to not be underwater and vice versa. But when you get in like to the southeast, you don't really see any kind of dinosaur findings or excavations at all. So it's making me wonder: was there once a time where the southeast was mainly under the sea,
I mean, they
or
found some Mayan relics in the southeast that don't get
Yeah,
talked about
in
too much.
Georgia.
a lot of those mounds and shit for
Yeah,
sure? Because everyone
Yeah.
thinks about the one in Ohio, the Snake Mound, but they're all throughout Tennessee and Georgia as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
University of Georgia, I think holds some of the history of it for sure.
Well, is this something I heard recently? I haven't heard too much more on it though, but the chief deity in the Mayan pantheon was Quetzalcoatl, right? The plumed serpent.
Another dragon. Yes,
Yeah,
serpent.
another dragon.
I was
the
thinking about it at
feathered
the very
serpent.
beginning when we were talking about that, and I could not think of the fucking name until you said it. I was like,
And
yeah,
then
Quetzalcoatl.
calling them
There you go.
dinosaurs.
Well, I heard some guys talking about it, but apparently, so like the founding fathers were all Freemasons, right? Apparently, they had some prior knowledge of America and the landmass that we're on having some kind of deep significance with Quetzalcoatl, and almost as if like the continent itself represents Quetzalcoatl, and they knew about that before really coming over and setting up the colonies. But again, yeah, I haven't heard too much on it, but there's some kind of connection with that.
What did you? I mean, I know you only heard a little bit on it, but did you hear like how they would have known about the Mayans beforehand?
They probably
Before going to America.
They would have known about that, yeah, because the Spanish came over and hit South America,
Of, like,
so they were
lore
bringing
and
stuff
stuff.
back. Yeah, but the and again, going back to alchemy and what the serpent represents, what the dragon could represent, that it's got a different level of importance to people that are read in on all this stuff, as the Sphinx does, and why it's a lion and why it's facing the direction that it is. That's the type of knowledge. It's not, it's not for the plebs. It's not for us.
So you're saying that even the Mayans knew that America is the greatest country in the world?
Yeah, I'd have to say that. I'd agree with that. That checks out.
And it was dragons and not dinosaurs.
Sure.
My question is, why do they put the dragon in the Bible when all these other cultures knew about it or believed in the dragon? Why put it in the Bible?
Again, I think that's metaphor, because I think so. Like the dragon. I mean, there could be other references to dragons in the Bible, but the main one that people think about is the one in Revelations, which is supposed to be, the end of the world. And it's supposed to be the whore of Babylon riding the back of a seven-horned dragon.
Fucking shit, yeah.
Yeah, they think that the number of horns on the dragon represents like 7 different nations or something. So it's all encoded. Like the Freemasons have their own version of the Bible that's even more encoded. You kind of have to have a primer to even know what it is that you're really dealing with a lot of these stories.
We should get a Freemason on the show and have him talk to us about it.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
If you would even do it.
We need to find the world's dumbest Freemason.
Yeah, they exist. We'll ask the Shriners. They don't care too much.
No, if you know a Freemason that get on here, they're not a real Freemason. A lot of these
What if they're ex-Freemasons? They're ex-Freemasons.
I'm sorry.
Most of them coming out, apparently.
There's not a lot of Masons these days that are actually Freemasons, man. They're all just they're not real. They're they're just DEIs basically.
So I,
um, if anything, it sounds more like the real knowledge, the real hard
You have to
hitting
be a
stuff.
certain degree. You have to be up there.
You have to be up there if you. Well, okay. So I heard. Before that, it seems like the Rosicrucians are the ones that are really hoarding the knowledge, and they're way more elusive than the Masons. And the Masons, they were serious about it, but over time, over the past definitely like 200 years, they've stopped focusing on. I was told this that when I was in Atlanta, when I was working, my boss, he had another employee that was obsessed with conspiracy theories and couldn't take it, and so he just became a Mason. And they made him buy the best suit he could, and they had him essentially guarding the door for like 6 months before he could really go in. And supposedly what happens, and then they told him to, like, they had him researching UFOs because a lot of these lodges have got their own libraries and shit. But they also, there's so much misdirection in these groups that that the whole having him look up UFOs could have just been a red herring or just something to preoccupy him. But what I've been told is that you join up, and then once you're in, once you take your oaths and you do your whole I don't know, they put you in a coffin and make you jack off in it or something. No, wait, sorry, that's Skull and Bones.
That's Skull and Bones.
Yeah, that's Skull and Bones. They kind of give you an aptitude test, and then you are approached by different orders within the order, and there's ones that are more esoteric and those that are less. So there's people that join up just for like the social perks. That's typically the Shriners.
Totally.
They're the ones that are wearing the fezzes and riding in the small cars and the parades. And that's all like a lot of charity work. But it seems like you really have to have an interest in it already. And then if they notice that in you, then you'll be, prospected.
I think I need to start doing a dive, dude. I'm gonna get us in.
You gonna get the whole group in?
I'm gonna have to shut y'all down for a while. I'm gonna get us in.
So smuggle us in.
I can do it.
I
can
believe
do
you.
it. Uncle Tim, you might have to sit out for a while. But the rest,
You don't qualify. Actually, he can't get Well, I mean, maybe it may be touched too. I'm not sure, but technically, one of the qualifiers is you have to believe in some religion. You have to have some religion. So
you have to have a higher power.
Yeah. Yes.
I definitely believe in Lord Jesus as my Savior.
You can't believe in that.
Yes, you can. You can believe in a higher power. I believe in a higher power.
You have to believe, like, that's.
You can't believe in God, though. You anti-Christ. You can't believe in God.
No, you have to believe. You have to believe in a God. You have to believe in something greater than you. Can't be God. That's their whole thing. Yeah, you can't worship yourself as God.
Uncle Tim's mad because he's not invited.
You're out, Uncle Tim. You're trying to tell me the rules, and I know the rules. You can't believe in God. Yes, you can.
I don't want to be no Freemason anyway.
I don't want to do it. No.
Anyways, take the gloves off.
Well, hey, there's something to that too, because this is something that I was told also by my old boss, is that, like, once you're in, you're paying those dues forever. Like, that you have to pay monthly. And supposedly it's really good because, like, or it used to be, I don't know how it functions now, but how it used to be is that the Masons were very much involved and invested in their civic duties. Like, that's what I've heard, is that, like, the gist of their whole religion is how the streets are laid out. Like, our laws are, the way civilization runs, that's what they worship, and that's what they try to keep in place. And the purpose of paying all these dues is, yes, it's creating some money for the lodge to pull on, maintenance and stuff like that. But if a Freemason were to die, then a lot of that money would go towards taking care of the wife of that Freemason. So it's kind of like the mafia, just making sure people are taken care of afterwards.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not
Why
trying.
are
I'm not
you
trying to make them
shaking your
sound like
head,
they're
Uncle
great because
Tim?
I still don't know. But
I'm not in it to win it. I'm
Right,
not in
he
it
said,
to win it.
"You gonna take care of my wife when I die? Fuck you! Fuck you! The fuck
That's so
is this shit?
stupid.
I don't want to be a part of somebody
I'm
that takes
kidding,
care of my
man.
wife."
you guys
Oh.
know about the real Illuminati, right? And where that term comes from?
About the original?
Yeah, and from the
The
1700s.
light,
Yeah, I know about it. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was Adam Weishaupt. So I mean, like, there's something to it because like the Nazis, they went around and like some of the first spots they hit were Masonic lodges, and they looted them. I think they outlawed Freemasonry also, and Freemasonry has butted heads with the church all the time. The church has got its own mystical orders that are tied up with that shit. But yeah, so there was a German guy named Adam Weishaupt in the 1700s, and he essentially just wanted access to the network and the knowledge and all the money that the Freemasons had. So he started his own little group and infiltrated the Freemasonic system, and he called it, that's what he called the Illuminati. And then supposedly over the next couple of decades, they just completely took over the whole system.
Weishaupt.
They infiltrated, then corrupted, and from what I've heard, because I've listened and seen so many things, it's hard to recall from what. Supposedly, the Freemasons, by and large, thought they ridded them of the Illuminati, but for all we know, there could be secret sects within it still. And
it
probably
seemed
is.
like the Illuminati was really about banking. They were all in on the monetary control.
Yeah. And then, but you brought the Rosicrucians earlier though too, and that to me they're one of the more fascinating groups. I feel like just people don't talk about them enough. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like it's almost like second or third level of like in getting into conspiracies, because you hear Masons, Illuminati all day, but Rosicrucian is something you only hear every now and then, and there's so many influential people, and then even more so. It's so mysterious of the Rosicrucian origin, because a lot of people believe it was the continuation of the Knights Templar.
Yeah.
But
I've heard, and they're
That's a whole
way
different
more
topic.
elusive and like serious about it. Like I heard supposedly the whole French Revolution started because the Rosicrucians were passing out pamphlets. They made one pamphlet and distributed it in one wave, and then fucked off. Like they only had to do it one time, and then there was people imitating them afterwards. Like there's a bunch of people that claim to be the Rosicrucians and they're not. I mean, this is also kind of connected to the Georgia Guidestones too, because if you guys know what it said on the pillars, and they translated it in like 8 different languages. But so on that whole screed that they put on the stone, it said at the bottom, written by HR Christian something.
Yeah.
And they think that, and it says underneath that name that it's a pseudonym. And a lot of people think that that's supposed to be kind of a reorganizing of the letters to say H.R. Rosenkreutz, who I think was supposed to be the founder of the act. It's just so much.
It was supposed to be just like nobody's supposed to know who put these guys' songs up.
They don't know.
And then they got taken out. They got taken out in the first couple of months into COVID.
Yeah, and I don't even think they got taken out on like intentionally. It was just like, this is something that white people like. We're going to take it out. They didn't even do it substantially, like with any fucking like target. It was just like.
So you think it's non-white people that did it?
No, I think they just took it out. There was like, white people like this, let's take it out. They didn't even know that they were taking out something substantial.
Oh, well, no, because
I think it was incidental.
It could have been anybody, because essentially what was written on those stones is it's got a eugenics program to it.
Yeah,
talking about keeping the population below a certain number.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Georgia Guidestone?
Yeah, like you don't do
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
without eugenics.
No,
Yeah.
no, I agree, but me personally, I think it was just, I don't think that, I knew what the Stones were for honestly, after they were torn down or they were
Yeah,
destroyed.
I really didn't know, but I didn't know about the gas stones until
But they,
someone blew it up.
but after they were tore down, I was just like, I don't think that those who tore it down, it
Had good
was
intentions.
the intentions were not because they were trying to cover up what they were talking about rebuilding a new society. I think they were just destroyed by ignorant ass people.
I think it
Oh,
was a message. I think that could have been some other group trying to send a message because of what it said. And that's the other thing too, is like most rational people would be like, regardless of politics, would be against what the Stones said. Like I don't know. I just find the timing of it happening, at the start of COVID being very sus.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I feel you. I feel you on that. I don't think at the time that it happened, and I could be wrong. I don't think at the time that it happened, and I don't
Plus,
feel like
I
it was.
always kind of, because I've heard that point about eugenics brought up before, and I always kind of question that a little bit because it is in 7 or 8 different languages and not exclusively European or white languages. They're
And one of them was
like,
Swahili.
yeah. So it's like for anybody, who's left, whoever's left,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And also where the stones were built, that has some kind of astrological alignment too, because the center plinth
It's in
had
Elgin, Georgia.
yeah.
Are you talking specifically in this? Okay, yeah,
No,
got you.
where it's placed. Yeah, it's supposed to line up with the solstice or something, because there's a hole drilled right through the center
Yeah.
plinth, and it's supposed to frame the sun perfectly at certain dates.
That's fucking yeah. And there are dragons there, Turk.
No,
Underground.
I think it was just a bunch of dumb motherfuckers trying to destroy shit.
I think it was a dragon that took out the stones.
No, I think it was just the motherfuckers just trying to destroy shit in the
was
south.
aliens.
In the south, saying it's because of race.
I think it was the Stone Temple pilots
I
crashing.
don't think it had nothing to do with eugenics. I think it was just done with a bunch of dumb motherfuckers that wanted to destroy shit and say that it was racist.
Take time with a wounded hand.
They couldn't understand what the fucking words was on it. And they destroyed it. This is racist.
There could have been so many groups that wanted to take it out.
You're right.
There's people that have their own opinions on the topics that go on in the conspiracy world, and all they have to do is look into it themselves.
But it was built by an anonymous person, and it was destroyed by the anonymous person.
There was rumors that it may have been some kind of missile or something, because they had footage of it. It happened at night. They had problems with it being graffitied and vandalized for years. But there's some kind of documentary floating around on YouTube, because they interviewed the stonemason that did all the work for getting it put up. And he was real cagey about who came to him with the proposition and the money, because that was an expensive project.
Yeah,
like, you're not getting that done just randomly.
Yeah, he did not let. He was not coming forth with who paid him to get it done.
Well, he didn't really know either, did he?
I want to say, if I remember right, it was like the guy that came to pay him or to set it up was actually like a lawyer or something, like a representative.
He never met the true.
Yeah, he never knew who was funding it. It was somebody that represented him.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have his actual name on the book somewhere. I don't know. But if that was the case, he probably took that to the grave with him.
Oh, yeah.
Now we'll never know.
Well, who knows? But just another thing I just remembered talking about dragons and dragon symbolism because our serpent worship. What I miss? What happened?
Was it Drake? What was it
You
called?
talking about Drake? Drake.
No,
No.
Draco. What's this?
Rack City.
Draco Malfoy.
Rack City, bitch. Yeah.
Drake.
So in yoga, there's this concept called Kundalini, and that it's this. They call it the coiled serpent. And you guys know what chakras are along the spine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So supposedly, the serpent energy, quote unquote, is supposed to reside at the base of the spine, and
That's our
through
Lord chakra, right?
meditation, yoga. Supposedly Hitler was doing this shit, Kundalini yoga. You're supposed to be able to like raise the energy from the base of the spine to the top of the head, and that's how you're supposed to achieve enlightenment. There's also a lot of association with Saturn and the serpent, so there's people thinking that like the predominant human pagan religions before whatever big cosmic changeover we had, there was a lot of serpent worship. So it's a really loaded symbol.
Well, Hitler is being fed estrogen through his fruit.
Through
I
his
can
fruit?
see Adolf in
Through
yoga
his fruit.
pants.
Yeah, he's being fed estrogen. Because
Was that before or after his methamphetamines?
Apparently, he was vegan.
That's
and
a bad combo.
They were trying to figure out how to feed him estrogen to make him act more like a woman, and he is still fighting through the shit.
Even with
I
his
already
little
had
nipples getting all
Alzheimer's
puffy
and
and
dementia and shit. He don't know
No,
what the fuck's going on.
Hitler got out of that shit and went down south. All right, there's villages down south that are fucking
The devil went
pure
down
white.
to Georgia, huh?
That are pure white with blonde hair and are supposed to be tan.
I'm pretty sure that got confirmed in the past couple of months that he did
he
die
escaped
in
to
Argentina.
Argentina.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
died in Argentina. Yeah. He there's a whole hunting Hitler thing that came out a couple of years back that they started investigating it, and then they discovered villages in Argentina that they were fucking blonde haired people, fucking in mixed fucking race. There's fucking pale skin, blonde hair, and they're in Argentina. The whole village.
Well, we got to make sure we don't confuse them with the Confederados, though. That's completely different.
Oh no, the Confederados. Yeah, that was intense too. The fucking the Confederados.
Right?
Yeah, the Confederates that had sex with the down south.
Well, I guess that technically that part happened. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it was kind of similar to how the whole Nazi thing.
Yeah,
A lot of Confederate generals and groups of people.
yeah.
When the
down
Civil War was about to be over with, and they knew they weren't going to win, they all escaped and went down to Argentina.
Yeah,
they went that far south.
Yeah.
And,
They went
it's actually a really super fascinating little culture they have, and like I said, they're literally to this day called the Confederados, where it's a mixture of the Argentina Portuguese or whatever heritage and old Southern people, where like they speak Portuguese and do a lot of things that they do. Not Portuguese, is that plus Portugal? Whatever they speak.
I think it's just Spanish down there.
It's just Argentina and Spanish.
Whatever they speak down there. It might be just Spanish. But either way, they speak Spanish, but at the exact same time, they hold on to a lot of that. They are paler. They listen to country music and they eat old Southern foods. They don't eat, you know what I mean?
It was
collard
almost
greens and cornbread.
It was almost a perfect cover up for Hitler to disappear down there.
Well, there's something also going on with Argentina because it's so close to Antarctica. Like, I think there was something going. Like, you guys ever hear of the Falkland Islands War that happened briefly? I think it was like in the early '90s. It's an island. It's an island that's kind of in between Antarctica and Argentina, and Britain had it under their control at one point, but Argentina tried to seize it again, and the Brits went down there and fought. Like it lasted like a couple of months, I believe, maybe even a few weeks, but There's some weird stories coming out. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about like the black goo conspiracy stuff, because it's in all kinds of pop culture, TV, movies, and like Venom, like the Venom suit, the symbiote.
Yeah.
Picture
Yeah.
something like that. I did some research with some people, with some of the ex-military men that participated in the Falkland Islands War, and they said that there was some secret mission they were sent in, and they found these big containers filled with this stuff in an ice cave. I don't know. There's weird stuff. Antarctica's weird, and I think Argentina is weird by proxy, just because it's so close.
Yeah, damn, dude.
And that's why the Nazis probably retreated there.
Let's see. I'll show you
That's
something.
crazy.
I guess it was Brazil, not Argentina, for the Confederados. So my bad on that. But that
Okay.
same continent.
That would be Portuguese, though.
See? Yeah, this right here.
Oh, man. That looks pretty nice.
Yeah, man. It's
Confederales.
Yeehaw.
Confederales.
and they have all that kind of stuff going on. But I mean,
think
they
I've heard
basically
about this.
most of them don't even speak
Hell
English
yeah.
anymore.
That's crazy.
It's just fucking. They married interbreed and had a successful little.
And they waved the Confederate
bizarre-
flag.
Well,
Look
you
at that.
heard that the
Look at that
Confederate flag was actually an Indian symbol. Y'all know that, right?
The swastika?
No, the Confederate flag. It used to be
Native American. I never knew that. I never heard of that.
Yeah, look it up.
Used to be a what?
Look it up. Won't
It's
you
a
look it up,
Native
motherfucker, Uncle
American
Tim?
symbol.
Uncle Tim, you look it up.
No, you look it up.
God damn, you're a host on here.
Are you-
Yeah.
You
said
talking about the
Native
original?
Amer-
Are you talking about
You
the
said-
original sign for the Confederacy?
The Confederate
Yeah, the
flag. You
with
said it was
the
Native
X.
American.
It's a Native American symbol. It's a whole Native.
It's a Scottish cross,
No, look it up. I'm telling you.
a Celtic cross, or some shit like that. Yeah, I mean, I will.
Scotland's
look it up. I don't
got
give
the
a shit.
same X on their flag. Celtic cross is more knots, and it's all intertwined.
Yeah, my bad.
and
Let's see. I was looking
I
at
think it's old Cherokee or something like that. It's old name.
Cherokee. Man, he's mixing his words. He said it's old
A
Cherokee.
Cherokee.
You just stop
Somebody
drinking that
Cherokee'd my
Mexican.
car.
You need to stop drinking that Mexican juice on 4th of July. He's over there drinking margaritas, talking about happy
Margarita.
4th.
I'm in Margaritaville right now.
Yeah, what is that
No.
blue drink?
Yeah, it's supposedly margaritas, but it's about America. You mean drinking Budweiser or
America.
something?
Hey,
It don't matter if it's red, white, and blue. It's still Mexican, motherfucker. We're American.
I'm looking up some shit right now. Give me a second,
Yeah,
guys.
I'm wearing a fucking flag right now. You got me fucked up. I only have a shirt on, motherfuckers. Look at this. I'm wearing a flag right now. And this motherfucker's drinking Mexican alcohol.
Did you
Who's
guys
more-
hear the thing recently? They found or picked up some kind of radio transmission coming from underneath Antarctica.
I
did hear about that.
I wouldn't fucking doubt it. I ain't heard about it, but I wouldn't fucking doubt it.
I was telling this was when the shit in Iran was getting real heavy, but I told my dad, I was like, with all this happening and the quote unquote Holy Land, I think we'll be in trouble if we get some stories hitting the headlines talking about something. So around Y2K, the Freemasons tried to put a cap on the pyramid, the Giza Great Pyramid. They were going to make a solid.
That was my bad. Tess, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Apparently, it's been mistaken for the Iroquois Confederacy, a group of six Indian nations that are not related to the Confederate flag. So somewhat like that. But go ahead, Tess. I did not mean to cut you off like that.
Oh, you're good. No, around Y2K, so the Freemasons, they operate all around the world, but they have a network system, and it seems like the big one is in Britain, because like sometimes they'll televise that shit, but they're big celebrations. So whichever council organization was at the top of all this, they were trying to organize something around Y2K of recapping the pyramid. And if you know any, like if you've heard some of the crazier stuff about the pyramids, like they may be some kind of mechanism because of where they're built, they're lined up pretty well with ley lines and shit, that it could, that we who knows what would fucking happen if we put the cap back on. But supposedly, like either the plane that was flying this shit in got shot out of the sky or something happened. Anyway, I was just telling my dad, I was like, if we start hearing news stories like that, then there's some heavier shit going down with broader implications. And literally within the next 2 days, that story hit about a radio signal being heard or picked up from underneath Antarctica. And that's, to me, that's the same level of like, oh shit, like what the hell? Because Antarctica, that's tied up a lot with what having a lot of clues to indicate what our ancient past was. Because that was all frozen over, and maybe has something to do with why Trump wants Greenland so much, because some of that stuff's supposed to be melting. Who knows?
Well, ancient mysteries. Well, guys, I figured tonight is probably good for a wrap up. I'm a little tired and I got to get up early. I know everybody had a long 4th of July weekend, and I hope y'all continue to for the remainder, because it's tomorrow Sunday. And y'all have a good time and be safe out there. But we'll wrap it up the same way we always do. Final words. Tusk, you go first, bud.
Okay. Was yesterday the 250th birthday of America?
No, 249.
249?
249.
Okay.
Yeah, it's next year.
All right, we may see something happen next year then.
25.
Because all these numbers, they've got some significance to them too that we're not privy.
Yeah,
so I feel like I haven't done like a doomer plug in a while, but everybody, I'd like to say again, go get some emergency supply food, because you just don't know. You have no idea what the hell could happen. Because things have been, even in our neck of the woods politically, we had something go down in Boulder a couple weeks ago. I saw some dude getting jumped in the street today by like 4 other guys that parked his car right in the middle of traffic. It's just, shit's getting weird. People are getting squirrely. So you don't want to have to interact with those squirrely people if you run out of food and the power's out. So just go get yourself a bucket from Walmart. They're selling them again. That's all I got.
All right, Shell, what about you, man?
Just piggyback on what Tusk said. If you're going to protest, do it safely, do it peacefully. It's a protest. It's not violent. It's not supposed to be violent.
It's not a violent test.
It's not a violent test. It's a protest. But no, for real, just stay safe out there, man.
What the fuck?
We're not talking about pro testosterone.
It's protest.
Talking about the estrogen that Hitler was getting.
Yeah.
In his fruit. How do you know it was in his fruit?
No, I saw some shit about it, man. I'm telling you. Look, they were trying some experimental shit. They're trying to figure out how to.
Why were they trying to turn Hitler into a woman in the first place? I should have asked you that.
They were trying to alter his emotions or try to infiltrate him, and
they wanted him to talk with his hands even more.
No, they wanted to deter him mentally and try to alter the war, and they thought about trying to figure out how to get estrogen into his food supply, which he was a vegan, and the only way they could figure out how to get estrogen into his, because he didn't eat meat, It was easier to get estrogen in the meat. So
So when you say they, by the way, real quick, you're talking about the Americans and the British,
yes,
the Allies.
yes.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
So they were experimenting with trying to get estrogen into his fruit, and
That's
they
really
did it.
terrifying. Because, like,
Yeah,
imagine what if that backfired? Because how much more effective would Hitler have been if he had had tits? You
No,
know,
but
it's like
He would have
you
won
thought
a
Hitler
lot
was
of
bad
arguments.
now, but he's a real bitch now.
but from my knowledge, that they did it and it was somewhat successful, but it didn't even change the way he acted. He still continued the way he did.
He just had
He's
a
still a
fucking menstrual cycle, right?
He just was just like fuck these kids, and he ran off to Argentina.
like
And
great.
then
You made him into a cunt. You
yeah,
made him a
It's-
cunt.
instead of staying and fighting and dying with the rest of his people, he said, "Fuck all y'all, I'm leaving." And then he became a damn thought,
Hey,
and he
hey,
left.
that's every mom ever right now, right?
Yeah, he America created the ultra thought with Hitler. Um,
What did I miss something?
I think America
Ultra
created
thought.
the ultra thought with Hitler.
Oh,
Um, he left all his troops and said, "Fuck these kids."
he said, "Yeah, you go ahead and you take the cyanide cap and you
You
shoot
take the
yourself in the head.
cyanide. Yeah,
I'm going fishing in Argentina, baby."
Yeah, I'm going to Argentina.
I
with
got a
my tits
subway
out.
plant.
Yeah. I'm going to tear my butthole in Argentina.
It's like all those years
Oh
later,
my
they track him
God.
down. We found you, Adolf. He's like,
Yeah.
you don't understand.
You don't
Is,
understand.
is there a problem, officer?
It's-
It's like getting pulled over for speeding.
He unbuttons his top shirt just a little bit.
All right. All I got to say is, and this is a side track from this whole episode, God bless America and no place else. That's all I got to say.
No place else. Fuck the
No
rest of them.
place
Huh?
else. Yeah,
Fuck 'em
God
all.
bless America.
Wow.
Fuck the rest of everybody.
That's terrible.
God bless America. Yeah, it's terrible. I'm wearing this flag. These colors don't run.
It's not that you're pro America. It's that you said fuck everybody else. Like, you know.
Everybody else wants to fight and kill each other. Guess what? God bless America. It's time to stand for each other. Everybody else that wants to fight and kill each other are red, white, and green. Fuck them.
I want Turk's quotes like crocheted onto something and sold at Cracker Barrels.
Yeah.
Over there in the corner.
I mean,
It's
I
like,
do
a
think
placemat that says "God bless America, fuck everybody else."
I mean, I do think if we get big enough, if we ever got big enough, we could probably definitely sell merch on his shit he says alone.
God bless America and no
We can
place
start
else.
doing that, make it a profit. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We might turn something. All right, man. I guess in my final words, I just want to say, y'all be safe out there for the 4th of July weekend because it's still not quite over yet. You got one more day. Be safe out there tonight. I hope everything we start to see some kind of clarity in what's coming next because we are living in some scary, crazy times in general. You know, with the whole Iran thing and all that, that's fucking crazy. I'm surprised we didn't really talk about that in the end all tonight.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a whole lot of stuff going on with that, and I don't wish bad, evil, or pain on anybody. And yeah, God bless America, but I'm cool with him blessing a couple of other places too. You know,
I'm not. All right. I can say the blessing, but it's crazy that you know what I'm saying. It's all about being Iran and Israel. But as soon as the 4th of July weekend, you don't hear about none of this shit during the 4th of July weekend.
yeah, they're celebrating our birthday too.
Yeah, they're celebrating that shit. They're fucking scared.
There's
They're like,
probably some
all right.
shit going on.
Oh, there's some shit. There's some shit going on that's infiltrated. You ain't hearing about it. It's what you got the Diddy shit going on right now, and you ain't hearing the 4th of July week. It's all distraction. Next thing you know, fucking yeah, it's all the facade, dude. It's all the facade. That's why I say God bless America and no place else. Fuck the rest of them. They're
Wow,
bullshit.
we came
What
full
about the
circle
moon?
once again.
It's bullshit. It's all bullshit.
The moon
It's
is
all
bullshit.
It's all bullshit. The moon is just a magnetic field that's created by whoever created it, and it keeps us on an even keel. That's all it is.
Profound. That's what we should talk about next time.
Prison.
Yeah.
Sounds like prison to me.
Yeah. The moon's created. It's all created. We have no control over it. We're all just we're all
What's in that can you drank?
we're just all cogs in the machine. We're all
It's the
cogs.
red-
Temperature beer. That's what it is.
We're all cogs. You see these colors? They don't run.
Hey,
You
he
know
did
what?
say. I will say right before we got on. He goes, "I got this one beer, but I'm gonna make it warm because it hits harder when it's warm." And I was just like, "That's probably the most uncomfortable
I
thing I've
had
ever
two
heard."
left. I got a message earlier that we're gonna start at 9 something. I said, "Shit, I've been drinking since 6."
Hey, he was pre-gaming.
But these
You
colors
Hey,
need
don't
one
run.
cold
These
and one
colors
warm.
don't
You can
run.
These
open.
colors don't run. I don't
They
have a
bleed.
shirt on right now. I'm wearing an American flag. Where do you think I stand, motherfucker? Fuck you,
But it's
Iran.
never touched the ground.
Yeah. Hey, this flag's never touched the ground. You guess what? Guess what's a word? What's another word I never said? Iran. Fuck you. I never ran from shit. America. I ain't ran from nothing. I ain't ran from shit. I faced all my fucking battles. Who said I ran? Not me.
Over here.
I'm America. I ain't
Over here,
ran
look.
Hey,
from
I ran.
shit.
You ran, huh?
I ain't ran from shit.
Oh, Turk over here looking like he just either won. He won in NASCAR. Or he just beat a Russian in boxing. That's what he's looking like right now.
If anybody ever told you I ran from anything, they're a liar because I'm American. I ain't ran from shit.
Iraq, URAC, Hitler Rex.
Exactly.
We're all big boys. He ain't ran in a while. I can tell you that.
I promise you, you motherfucker, they be like, what runs in your family? Not me. I ain't ran from nothing. Ain't shit run in my family, especially not me.
All right, hold on.
There you go. Etch that in the next Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah, he says in this. Yeah, exactly. High blood pressure.
Y'all have a great night. This is gonna wrap it up.
It got comical real quick.
Yes.